And welcome to Top of the River on this Tuesday night for another round of the FNN Coaches Show, live from the Catfish Capital here in North Anniston. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley, James Hardy, ready to go for another 90 minutes of good stuff, high school football talk that we'll take care of for you from here at Top of the River. We've got some great guests tonight. We'll show you those in just a couple of minutes. But, guys, let's start with a kind of a flashback back to what we all incurred this past week. We had a doubleheader Thursday night. We were at Southside for the Hoax Bluff Eagles and the Southside Panthers. And then, of course, on Friday, the traditional Montford-Lincoln game this year from Keith Howard Memorial Stadium, home of the Lincoln Golden Bears. Joe, I think you got one of the best games probably that was available in Calhoun County to get the season started, but it didn't live up to the hype, did it?
Well, it did if you're Alexandria. but you know, the thing, it was kind of a trend last week that there were games where, like, the outcome from last year not just flipped, but went, blow out the other way. And that was, the Alexandria-Jacksonville game. 34-7 this year, Alexandria's way. 49-21 last year, Jacksonville's way. Some of the things that we think that we can hang our hat on, especially when it comes to picking games, like I try to do, they are not as reliable indicators anymore as they used to be.
Yeah, knowing what you know is not what you really know.
That's right. I know what I know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right, James, let's talk about Thursday night over at Southside. Very impressed with Hoax Bluff. I thought they were very workmanlike. They're going to win a lot of football games this year like that.
That's a good description for Hoax Bluff from Thursday. I was very impressed as far as the way the game, from Coach Rob all the way down to the players on the field, the way they managed that game, in particular late second quarter. How they were able to use the clock in eventually taking the lead and take the lead for good. And then the fourth quarter, how they almost held the ball for, the final 8 minutes of the ball game when they were able to get the ball back around their own 6-yard line and almost bleed out the clock. I was just very impressed with how Hoax Bluff came out ready to play and executed their game plan almost to perfection.
And on the opposite side of that, I have some concerns for Southside. They're up in this 6A classification now. It's not the strongest teams in the state, but still, it's 6A ball, and Miles has got to get them straightened out pretty quick.
Indeed. I think they'll have a winnable game to open up Class 6A Region 8 play against Lee Huntsville this week, but they still have Gadsden City and Fort Payne as far as the teeth of their region schedule to come. So, yeah, you're right. As far as Thursday, it definitely showed Southside still has a lot of work to do.
And, of course, on Friday, we went over to Lincoln for the traditional, it was the 81st meeting of these two programs. Joe, that's really rare.
It is, and it survived a schedule change and
classification changes.
And the one thing that never changes is the feeling between the two programs.
Well, let's talk about the bear in the room, so to speak, James. Lincoln is going to beat somebody they're not supposed to beat before the season is over.
Braden Collins is really impressive out there as far as his athleticism. It's like anytime he touches the ball, something good is going to happen for the Golden Bears.
Well, and I think they've got a coach now in Brett that is going to get their attention and get some of the nonsense cleaned up so that when they're in a game that's really competitive, they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. He told me the other day after the game, he said, we may not win a lot of football games, but we'll have the best track team before the season's over with.
This is true.
All right, and your thoughts, let's flip it and look at Montford. They had the thing over the summer with the kid that wore 51, and then, Coach Easley having to suspend several players before the game. There's not a lot of good in the Montford football program right now, and I hope Coach Easley can help get that kind of moved in the right direction because, the natives in Montford get restless in a hurry, and Coach Easley's been there
7 seasons
Yeah,
now.
And I think 6-5 is the best he's had. That's a hot seat. That's all I'll say.
I agree with that. I mean, losing on Friday certainly doesn't help as far as being on the short end of that rivalry matchup this past Friday. But you talk about just a lot going on as far as on and off the field for the Munford football program. Give credit to the players that were able to play, especially the fight that they showed in the second half. But speaking of programs that have a lot of work to do in an uphill climb, Munford may have the most work that they have to do just to be competitive throughout the rest of their schedule.
And they're just they just got that lousy draw, Joe, when it came to putting all the regions and stuff together. I mean, there's just not a lot of great matchups, compared to what it would be if they were playing the teams here that they thought they were going to be playing when it all happened.
Yeah, that and two, how many times in recent years has maybe Munford's best player wound up wearing another school's colors?
Yep.
And that's not necessarily something that's wrong with, the Munford program itself. It's just kids that think they can get more exposure somewhere else.
And, that's not good for Munford. Again, that's another one of these things that these smaller schools that are in the neighborhood of some of the bigger programs like Oxford, not saying that they're poaching players or anything like that, but, if you're a great player and you're at a Munford or a Lincoln or, even Hope Christian, and Oxford is an opportunity for you, you got to take a look at it.
Yeah, and there's more player movement now than ever, so people are taking that look.
Yeah, and because of all the college stuff that's going on with the transfer portal, God knows somehow that's probably going to make its way to high school. Let's hope not. Yeah. All right, Jake, put them up. Let's show everybody who's going to be with us tonight as we come to you live from Top of the River. There you see our guest lineup. Our buddy at Pleasant Valley is here tonight. He's gonna got his team here, and boy, what Jonathan Nix is just life is good right now. I mean, they got all kind of team of the week and game of the week honors and stuff from what they did up at Spring Garden and this past Friday, and that's not easy to do.
I tell you what, if you want to build a program to have a big year, they went to the playoffs around 500 2 years ago, 8-2 regular season last year with the first round home game last season, and then they're building their way to what might be one of their biggest seasons in program history, especially if they can build upon what they did at Spring Garden on Friday.
And, Joe, we talked about it off the camera before we got started. We've got the schedule pulled up here, and, I just don't see a lot of people that should beat these guys.
No, especially if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan's there are a lot of good coaches out there that, once they have the Jimmies and Joes, they get to show that they're good coaches. And he's had the Jimmy and Joes in this group, and now they're all juniors and seniors, and it's starting to really show out on the field.
Now, the guy to the right there on your screen to Coach Nix is not a player, okay? I know he looks like he ought to be a player, but he's not. It's Coach Tyler Robinson. He is one of the hottest young coaches in the state, and he is showing his mustard right now, Joe. Trip to Montgomery this past Friday night, it's not bad to come home and say, hey, we beat the state champs.
Two-time defending state champs.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, no, Juicy's not there anymore, but still, you beat the state champs on their grass. You've had a darn good night.
First loss in 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. The player of the week joins us tonight. He is also from St. Clair County, as we have them here for their very first time on the FNN Tuesday Coaches Show. And then right there to the right is the newest coach in our area. I guess we could call him new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the program's brand new. They played, 2 games?
That's right.
Right. And, he obviously came from South Alabama and went to Arkansas State, and now he's here.
And he'll be with us to wrap the show up tonight here from Top of the River. We're going to catch our first break of the evening. We'll get Coach Nix in here, and Joe and I will grill him about how good life is right now when we continue here from Top of the River on the Tuesday Coaches Show on the Friday Night Network.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
And we rejoin you after the break there from Top of the River, the catfish capital here in this part of Alabama. If you want great catfish, seafood of any kind, steaks, sandwiches, they got it all, and it's all good. Coach Jonathan Nix joins us now from the Pleasant Valley Raiders. You know, it's been a while since we've probably been able to sit here and talk to you and say you're 2-0 and a top 10 team.
Yeah, definitely. It's
feel good?
It does feel good. Feels good for everybody. Feels good for the players, the coaches, community, and, you know, just everybody that came together to make this possible.
You know, and I know you can speak to this because it hasn't been that way at your school, but can you see a difference in the hall every day?
Yeah, you can see a difference in the, you know, just our players, and we just say, you know, we just got to focus on what we can control, and that's us and our attitude and how excited we get to go to go to practice and get to play this game. And you know, a ticket nowadays is $10, and so, you know, we want to make sure that when somebody pays that $10 to watch us, that it's something that they say, hey, I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of us, you know, how they fight for 4 quarters, how they fight for each other, and biggest thing, how they celebrate with each other.
That's great. All right, Joe, team up.
Well, we talked about this a few weeks ago when we met on campus, but just you saw this group of players coming, and obviously they're juniors and seniors now. Can you kind of give us a picture of how far they've come just in their development?
Definitely. I mean, they're still growing too. I mean, just like you know, I was talking to Coach Ragsdale before we left. Was playing junior high, and he said, "Man, I can't believe how many of your kids have put on 20 to 30 pounds." Mm-hmm. And you know, and a lot of it started with the two that's coming, you know, going to talk tonight. You know, as soon as that Sulligent game was over, I mean, they didn't make any bones about it. They said, we've got to get in the weight room and we got to continue to get stronger and better if we want. And they said, what's your goal for next year? Well, they didn't hesitate deny. They said, we want to go 10-0. Well, that's a big goal. That's a big goal. So your work ethic better match that. And that's what's fun about, you know, any time that somebody's slacking, every one of the coaches like, hey, you're the one that set this goal. We're just trying to help you along the way. And so, you know, but how they do things together is what makes this team special. I mean, they genuinely care about each other on and off the field, and you can see that the way they play.
In this era when players move around, you have a story, obviously, of a group that's pretty much stayed together over the years.
No doubt. And, I mean, these guys, I mean, like, you know, and I'll be honest with you, I love it like when they're youth coaches and stuff, be like, we were telling them when this 5 and 6 year old, they're special. You know, they can do this. Well, that matters. It matters what you tell a kid, because a kid's like a dry sponge. If you're always telling him, I just don't know if you can win, I don't know if you can do this, well, sooner or later they start to believe it.
You know, and the other thing about it, Coach, that I think is important is, you know, as much as losing is contagious, winning is contagious as well. And
it really is.
And you know, I know you probably feel, because, I mean, you've been around a while. You know how this thing works. The good teams, the kids almost coach the teams.
That's it. Great teams are led by players. We say that all the time. And what does that mean? Well, that means, you know, the coaches are on the sidelines. Yes, you get to make an adjustment, but how does the team respond to each other out there? What's being said when you're not around? What's the locker room vibe like? All that stuff. All that is player led. And we have 6 accountability teams, and there's a leader for each one of them, and then they have a coach, position coach that they go to on that. And so sometimes we just talk about topics other than, the game week. Hey, how's school going? Hey, Coach so-and-so is giving Miss so-and-so a hard time in class. Well, sometimes they look at that, well, that's snitching, but that's not. That's maybe somebody else needs to go get to that kid to find out. And so sometimes those accountability teams help a lot like that, but also for our whole team to know that, and we care about you more than just on the field. It's off the field. It's the whole person.
You mentioned the big goals earlier and the ranking. He mentioned his first time since 1984 for Pleasant. There's been a lot of first times since 1984 for Pleasant Valley the last couple of years. But just what did that do to kind of build the confidence that was already there or build onto it?
And we went into this, and sometimes like going into the off season, we talked a lot about, these teams, because we had so many games that could have went either way last year. I mean, and it was different players stepping up and winning each game. And, and the fans would say at the end of the game, Coach, all these close games about to give me a heart attack. Well, about to give us a heart attack too. And so that was, Braxton and Jaden and several other ones like, this year we don't want these games to be close. We want to be able to go out there. Because some of these games we were up 21-0 at halftime, 28-7 at halftime. Next thing you know, it's a dang ball game in the end. And I think a lot of it was just we didn't have that finish button. And so we really, hey, can we score every quarter? And to me was how we played in West End in the third quarter and how we played at Spring Garden in the third quarter, is signs that we are growing in that part. We're able to continue to go out there and not look at the scoreboard that we're up or whatever. It's 0-0 in the third quarter.
And it's 74-7 so far this season.
Yes, and we'll take that every day.
All right, Coach, let me turn this a little bit. As much as people like me and Joe like to see those polls and, the good vibe and all that kind of stuff, if you let it, that stuff can be rat poison. How do you control that?
It sure can. And that's something that we have to talk about. Like last week, not one time did we talk about what we were ranked or what Spring Garden was ranked. And that's all it is a preseason ranking. And now you're in season, and now, of course, you could go up in rankings. But really all it matters is, like last year, I felt like going into this game for whatever reason. I mean, it wasn't the coaches and some of the key players, but for whatever reason, we played bad against Donahoe last year. And it turned into a war when we don't feel like it should have been at that point. And so going into that, how do you prepare every week the same for opponent, not because of what you think or what that team played last week. Is you're trying to improve each week. And so today I thought practice was good, and yesterday, it been Labor Day and in everybody's mind somewhere else, and I thought they handled that real good. They handled the film study, and one big thing it's real fun with this team is when we beat West End, at least 4 or 5 kids text me over the weekend, go watch clip 72. I cannot believe I missed that block. They're talking about some negative stuff instead of like, hey, go watch 68, watch me, score a touchdown on this kid. They're looking at ways to improve. And so that's fun as a coach, and the coaching staff has done a really good job on making sure that the relationships are tight in their position groups. And, and there is some kids that you have to make sure that you show them their highlights, a few more than others.
Yeah.
But then, you've got a bulk of the team right now that's, hey, Coach, you don't have to give me all that feel-good stuff. Just show me how to get better.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
All right, Coach, who'd you bring with you tonight?
Tonight I brought Braxton Salster and Jaden Sparks, and both of them are leaders on the team, and both of them are two-way players, and and hats off. Like right now, the defense is playing out of its mind, and those guys have they pitched shutouts for 7 of the 8 quarters that they played, and Coach Ward does a fantastic job on that side of the ball, and Coach Muncher and Coach Parker help him, and then me and Coach Caldwell and Coach Turner do the offense, but. Real excited on that side of the ball and what they're doing right now. And it's hard. I mean, like we've been keeping track of shutouts and stuff. So I think that was the 32nd shutout in school history. And so we get to feed the players a steak dinner if they have a shutout. Doesn't matter if the JV plays or not, and so you get to see some of those kids really, Coach, when you start putting the JV kids in, and then the varsity kids. Don't miss this steak dinner up now.
Yeah,
but these two right here, they're not afraid to coach players either, and I think there's a knack to that of how can I coach a player hard and them not take it sensitive with me, and they're still my buddy also, and both of these leaders right here has got that figured out, and so.
Where do y'all go for those steak dinners?
Well, last week we did it in the lunchroom, so yes.
I was going to say it was probably somewhere near the practice field.
Yes, it's after practice, and we've got boosters that are big about that. Like today, if you win, you get a victory meal, and I think it's good to celebrate winning. And so sometimes it's just pizza, a hot dog, or whatever. Today it was a hot dog and a hamburger and a box, and they went and watched the junior high play.
Coach, we could sit here and talk forever, but we got a room full of people that we need to take care of. Yep. We are happy for you. You are one of the sport's good guys, and I've known you a long time, and I hope it just finishes out the way you want it to.
Yes, sir. I appreciate everything y'all do and shows like this to help with high school sports.
Thanks a lot. We'll be back with the Pleasant Valley players. James will take care of them when we continue from Top of the River.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Our second F&N Coaches Show of the season here at Top of the River, the capital for catfish in our part of the Yellowhammer State. James Hardy with you as we continue our look at Pleasant Valley as they came off of actually a couple of huge wins so far this season as they opened the season with a 34-0 shutout at home against West End Walnut Grove, but they went on the road to always a tough place to play at Spring Garden. They came away with a dominating 40-7 victory this past Friday night. And we have a couple of friends of ours we've seen a few times as part of our coaches show. Off to my left, Braxton Salster, quarterback and linebacker, and also linebacker and running back Jaden Sparks. And as always, great to see y'all.
It's good that you have us. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, we mentioned as far as Coach Nix being one of the good guys as far as at least sports in our area, especially with high school football. And let's start with your ball coach, Braxton, as far as just kind of if there's any word to describe Coach Nix, what would it be?
Strong. He's a strong guy. He's always uplifting people. I've known him since my older brother went to Pleasant Valley, graduated from Pleasant Valley, played for Coach Nix, and so I've known him probably since second, third grade. So we've always had our own kind of like relationship, friendship, and now he's my coach. I mean, I've got to know him better, and he's a very strong guy. And then
Jayton, I always like that. At least hearing the combo as far as Coach Nix being described from Braxton as far as positive, but also strong. Just kind of describe your thoughts as far as how you would describe your ball coach, Coach Nix.
He's definitely strong-willed. Like, we're not going to break him.
having like a brother on the team like last year, growing up we'd argue, maybe things like that, and Coach Nick's is like, hey, cut it out. And you're like, yes, sir. You're going to listen to him. Some of the younger kids, they'll think things are funny and they'll joke around, and when Coach Nick puts his hands down, it's like, okay, we get it, Coach.
You've probably heard the cliche as far as just the teams take on the personality of their coaches. Has that been that way at least since you've been playing varsity ball with Pleasant Valley?
It has. I mean, that goes into a lot of how our defense plays is we're so strong-willed. Like, Spring Garden lined up in a wing T, and we're going to say stop, and they stopped. They had to go into a different formation. So that's how we're kind of playing our defense this year is what we want, and we're going to play our ball our way.
And I tell you, as far as just among the 1A, the smaller classification schools in our area, Spring Garden's been at the very top for the last several years. But how satisfying was it, especially to go into a tough place like Spring Garden and take care of business?
It's good. They've beat us for the past few years, at least while I've been on varsity. So it's like you moved all these years and you're losing. It's like, okay, it's my senior year. Y'all have had our number, but we kind of changed phone numbers this year. So it's a great feeling, especially away. They have all their fans there, and you see people start leaving about the third quarter, and you broke their will.
Braxton, I got to imagine that's a very pleasurable thing. Go in, be the better team, and see their fans walk out early from their own home stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Like Jaden said, I mean, they've had our number these past few years. Ever since I've been playing varsity, we haven't beat them. And so big thing this year was we came off of a great week 1 win, and we were just like, we can't let up. We have a big game ahead of us, and we blocked out all the outside noise that was coming in, and we focused on our jobs, and we had a job to do, so we went and we executed.
And no, at least the last couple of years that we've been talking to y'all here as part of our FNN Coaches Show, y'all have been, as far as progressing upward as a football program, getting into the playoffs 2 years ago, second in your region, earning a home playoff game last year. Still, though, this past Friday night, was it kind of a sign for y'all, especially after when y'all got into the post-game locker room and even this week in practice, that, hey, we can do something as far as being able to accomplish what you did this past Friday night?
Absolutely. I mean, we went into that week, and we had our mindset on a big win. And, I mean, we went out and we did it, but after the game, we were all happy. We were all celebrating, but everybody was like, we still messed up. We still have mistakes that we need to fix. And so we're not just looking at a win and like, yes, let's go. We've accomplished what we're looking for, but we're looking ahead saying that we could be better than what we are right now.
Braxton Salster along with Jayden Sparks with us as we're profiling Pleasant Valley, who are at 2-0 on the season. And Jayden, have y'all gotten to a point as a program to where when you step out on the field that y'all expect to go out and come away with a W?
Yeah, I mean, we work so hard, through the week, especially this off season, this whole summer, and, going to camps, going to 7-on-7 games, really trying. Everybody's put on weight. Everybody's been in the weight room. Everybody's stronger. Everybody's faster. So it's like we've worked harder than the person in front of us, and we know if we continue to work and we continue to get better, like kind of like what Braxton said, we know we can get better. I mean, we're good now. We've got the talent. We've got the speed. We've got the strength, but we're not there yet.
Where do y'all need to get better to take that next step forward?
Oh, we got to finish. We gave up, I think, 121 rushing yards. Let's give up less than 100 next week. So if we make a few more tackles, we have a shutout. We don't have to give up any points on the season yet. So there's just a few small things that change the game where past years it's like, oh, okay, we won a game. So it's not as big of a deal. But now we're like, how can we fine-tune ourselves? How can we really get better for where we're at?
And then, Braxton, just as far as week in and week out, what are the, I guess, typical objectives or goals that y'all have as far as trying to get to victory each and every week? What are the things that at least y'all emphasize internally in the locker room among players and among the coaches?
The little things. I mean, everybody has those big goals. Just like with a play, you have a play and everybody has their own job, but within that job you have little things that you have to focus on and perfect. And I say week in and week out, we focus on those little things. And, that's the things that'll win or lose a ball game, those little things. And so going into a new week, we look back on last week and we're like, what little things did we do wrong last week? And then we try to go and fix them and perfect them for the next week.
And then you and Jaden have been a very big part of Pleasant Valley growing as a football program. How have you seen the program grow, and how have you seen yourself grow as a football player?
I mean, I've seen this program and myself grow a lot, and that also comes with the people around me. This group that we're playing with right now, we've played together since, we were second grade, third grade. So even since then, we were like, we're going to grow up. We're going to be a good we're going to be a good football team. We're going to show Pleasant Valley how we're actually supposed to play football. And so now that we've grown up, last year and the year before, we were still young. We were still not matured as much. And so this year, we're juniors and seniors now. So just the maturing part has just helped everybody grow up. And the fact that we have everybody competing for jobs. We have some people sitting on the sideline that should be playing on Friday nights, but it's just the fact that there's someone else that's going to be right there behind you, pushing you. But right now they have your number. So just the competition all around that we all have with each other just makes each and every one of us want to get better week in and week out.
And then Jaden, where have you seen yourself grow the most as a football player individually?
Being able to read the field, really. I've started playing. Well, my first year on varsity was 8th grade, so, I've had years of experience now. This is year 5. So, game was super fast for me then, and it's really slowed down. I can really see it better. I can read offenses better. And it really helps me be a defensive captain where I can, hey, guys, look, this is what they're going to do, and I can read it kind of like a coach can, and I can see it on the field so I can see it live time, and we can make quick adjustments on the fly. So it's really, I think that's probably my biggest growth. And then next to that's probably size. It really helps when you're 70 pounds from 8th grade to your senior year.
I wanted to go back to Coach Nix, and y'all both mentioned as far as just Coach being strong-willed, but also someone that's positive with y'all behind the scenes. Just how much, for you personally, Jayden, has Coach Nix influenced you as far as your growth as a young man?
A lot. He's believed in me. There's been times where we weren't good, where it would have been easy just to put the senior in and let them have their senior year, but he's always said it doesn't matter what grade you're in. It's how much effort you give out. Braxton also started as an 8th grader. We had multiple 9th graders in our first playoff game. So with that being said, for my 8th grade year, he's like, if you work harder than the senior beside you, you're going to get in. And that's kind of been my thing where now as a senior, I got to work harder than the person below me so they don't get in.
And then same thing for you, Braxton. How much has Coach Nix influenced you as far as just your growth as a young man?
A whole lot. Like I said, I've known Coach Nix for a while, so I used to be a manager for the football team, 4th, 5th, 6th grade. And so just being on the sidelines, getting to kind of see how things are ran on the varsity level, and then getting into high school. And like Jayden said, I started as an 8th grader, so going into 8th grade, they weren't necessarily expecting a lot out of me, but week in and week out, me and Coach Nix were watching film, talking, like, how can we improve to make this season better? And so his just belief in me helped me out so much, and him also showing me how to become a leader, because he is a great leader himself.
And then this week, back home against Donahoe, and y'all have got a big game after that on the road at Pisgah. But how much, at least what's the emphasis, at least this week, from the coaches as far as your next game?
We're just focused on this week. We have 1 week at a time. So this week we got Donahoe. So let's go in and let's fix the little things that we messed up on last week. And then when next week comes, we'll focus on next week.
Jayden, what type of potential does this Pleasant Valley team have in 2025?
Well, we are, what Braxton said, we focus 1 week at a time, one game plan at a time. We don't want to overload each other. That's how you get burnt out and you don't get better. When you start thinking ahead, you're like, we got to get ready for this team. And then that's what we did last year, where we play Woodland, and we're like, we got to prepare for the game after that. We got to get ready. And then we go in and it's a dogfight when it's a rain game. And we're not going to let that happen this year. You got to stay focused on Donahoe's game plan, what's going to happen there. And I feel like if we're giving 110% like we all say we are, that we're going to get better for the next game anyways.
It's Pleasant Valley. They're 2-0 on the season. They'll take on Donahoe at home this Friday night. As always, Jayden and Braxton, a big thanks for y'all for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Good luck the rest of the season. I imagine we'll be hearing a lot more from Pleasant Valley as the 2025 season rolls on. Speaking of rolling on, that's exactly what we'll do here at Top of the River, as we still have a whole lot more in our second edition of the 2025 season here on the FNN Coaches Show. Hope Christian coming up, but before that, we'll have St. Clair County coming up Coach Tyler Robinson. And don't forget, we still have to our second player of the week, courtesy of Talladega Short Track, to roll out later on tonight. You're watching the FNN Coaches Show here at Top of the River.
A lot of people always wonder, how does your first-time buyers program work? Hey, I'm here to tell you that we do bad credit, good credit, even no credit at all. I even got down payments as low as $500, even got cards as low as $169 a month. So stop by. Let's check it out. Let's see if we can get you approved today. Come by at 411 East Street North, Talladega, Alabama, 35160. Telephone number 205-332-7993. Let's come get you a bill deal.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Welcome back to Top of the River as our Tuesday Coaches Show continues here on the Friday Night Network. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley, and to my immediate left, the head football coach. No, he's not 16, folks. Coach Tyler Robinson joins us here after a pretty big home win against the championship team from Class 5A. Man, that had to be a fun drive home.
Yes, sir, it was, man. We've had that game circled, to be honest with you. Going into this year, that was going to kind of be our, tone setter, if you will, for the year. We knew that if we could pull off that win, against the reigning state champs and, in 5A, but also in 4A the year before. So, we had that one circled. We knew if we could pull that one off, and we felt, honestly, many people don't believe me when I say this, that we were the better team going into it. And, again, you look at our past record and things like that, people think I'm crazy. But,
okay, he goes by T-Rob. That's one of the things I've learned, so we're going to call him Coach T-Rob. Coach, for the folks in all of our viewing area that may not know that much about you, because this is your school's first visit here in the 6 years we've been doing this,
yes, sir.
Who is Tyler Robinson?
Well, I'm not too far down the road from Oxford originally. Grew up in Oxford, Alabama. So went there.
Go to school there?
Yes, sir. Graduated there in 2010. Played for Josh Niblett my first 2 years of high school football, then John Gross. So two pretty well-known names in this state for high school football. And so obviously from a young age playing through those guys, I learned pretty quick I want to be a coach. And those were some of the best in the business. So learned from some good ones. From there, went on to play football at Huntington College from 2010 to 13. Learned from Mike Turret, one of the best in all of college football. He's the most tenured college coach in this state, and a Troy legend who became a mentor to me as well. And from there, went on coached 9 seasons, 10 years of college football, and this was actually my first high school football job. So it's been a long ride. Again, I'm 33. Like I said, don't look like
divided by 2.
Yeah, exactly. I promise you, I can't run like I'm 22 anymore. Though it hurts.
Look young as long as you can.
Yeah, see, Coach, this is what'll happen to you right here.
Well, I'm telling you, these teenagers about to put me there, brother. I'm telling you.
My hair is parted in the middle. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Would you consider moving from college back into high school as a step in the other direction, or how did that come about for you?
No, I wouldn't, to be honest with you. To me, again, it's kind of similar. You got some NFL coaches that come down to college, right? It's nothing.
Yeah, one last night didn't do too well.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah, not quite the showing we had hoped there for old Bill, but still a legend nonetheless. But no, at the end of the day, this was my first head coaching job. I had always been a position coach in the college ranks, and so I kind of reached that point. Really and truly, my wife is from Talladega. My family still lives in Oxford. Hers still lived in Talladega, and we were in Prattville when I was coaching at Huntington. So we were about 2 hours away. She worked at UAB. She's a nurse, and we had 2 kids, man. And when you have 2 little ones, I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old daughter now. But at the time, the 2-year-old was a newborn, and we were down there on our own, figuring life out while I'm coaching and living the college dream, if you will. And we needed some help, and so I had to make a change. And honestly, I'd always wanted to be a head coach, and that was a dream of mine. And to be honest with you, the good Lord played it all out there for me, and fixed the puzzle. And I found myself in Odenville, Alabama, a place where I'd never thought I'd be, if I'm being truthful.
I got you. Well, it's a place most coaches wouldn't have wanted to be. We were talking over here earlier. Yeah. I mean, you walked into a dumpster fire.
Well, yeah, I brought a fire hose.
I mean, there was. I mean, I'm sure that the whole attitude about football over there was about probably as low as it could be.
Well, and that's what's the place intrigued me. So again, coached 9 seasons college football. Probably maybe 5 of those 9 years, I recruited Northeast Alabama. I recruited Odenville, Alabama. I didn't stop by there a ton, but just being honest, throughout the years though, there were a couple of kids there that I kind of had to go see and check out. They had some good players.
Yeah.
And but people don't really remember 2017 wasn't that long ago. It may feel like it, but it wasn't. This team went to the semifinals that year, and is the only Clair County school that has a state championship in 1993. And so, you look back and you're like, recent history, you're like, ain't no way. Well, when this place gets its mojo going, it can go. And, I knew that about the place. And so when I was getting ready to take this job, again, I always do your research when you take a job, right? And don't go into it blind. Everybody's asking me, T-Rob, what are you doing? I'll never forget Sam Adams told me that. I saw him downtown Montgomery. I'm getting ready to take the job. And he's like, what are you thinking, man? And I was like, honestly, I told him to, just point blank. I said, well, look, they haven't been very good. So if I'm not a good head coach, they won't know any better. So, fortunately, we've had a good run, man. We've had, we flipped the script a little bit, and I brought a college mentality with me because that's all I'd known. And
is this year 4?
This is year 3, actually.
3. Okay.
Yes, sir, just year 3. So year 1, we went 3-7, won 3 games, and they were 3-47 in the previous 5 years.
Yeah,
so
it was bad.
It was rough, brother. It was rough, but did that, and then last year, finished 5-5. But even the past 2 years, we were 1 game shy of making it to the playoffs, and just right there. So, we've only gotten better, and obviously that showed last Friday night.
You took it from college to high school. John Gross took it from high school to college.
Yes, sir.
I saw him on TV the other night when they were playing LSU. But you played under him. You were a grad assistant under him at Jack State. What kind of influence did he bring to your career? What did you learn from him?
Oh, unbelievable, man. I love Coach Gross to death. He is actually one of the reasons I kind of got connected to the job, to be honest with you. Because again, he had a tenure at Asheville, also had a tenure at Moody. Both are neighbors, and a guy who is there in Odenville, his grandson actually plays for me, was a booster club president for Coach Gross at Moody. So, there was some ties, and so it kind of led back to me a little bit, and Coach Josh Lynham, who actually had took the job here for 24 hours before I took the job. And I was actually possibly getting ready to be Coach Lynham's OC up here. So it kind of trickled down to me, and but Coach Gross, man, is one of the most godly men I've known, and that's one of the foundations I wanted to lay here with my tenure was lay down God first and have a good Christian faith foundation, and before we build it up. And I learned that from him as well as Coach Niblett, and to me that's the only solid ground you can build on. And so learning that from him at a young age, and as a young coach, and I still contact him all the time. He calls me all the time, checking in, and but just an unbelievable coach, and X's and O's, they take care of themselves. But he taught me more about the player, how to develop the player, which is I appreciate.
One of the things that I think is interesting about your journey is here we all talk about the Larry Ginn tree over in Alexandria, about how many coaches have come off that.
That's a lot of tree.
But there is a lot of truth to the John Gross, Bill Clark connection that some of you guys have come through, like Coach Gaines and yourself.
That's
and
right.
I mean, that's impressive too. I mean, that's a good group of folks to be around.
No question, and a lot of it's through St. Clair County too. How about that? But no, like you said, just phenomenal coaches that that we look up to and respect, and have again, Jake's a young coach. He's actually younger than me. I think he's a year or two younger than me, and so just the development. They obviously had a major impact on our lives as players, but also as coaches, as young coaches. To I think that's one of the reasons why Coach Gaines is obviously having the success he's having, and that's when we're trying to get some things trending in Odenville as well, just because of the things they've implemented in us as young coaches.
Your background in college was dealing with quarterbacks and receivers, and not surprisingly, the other night, Landon Smith throws 335 yards, and Joshua Dothard has 135 receiving yards. Travell Jones 106. Just talk about the quarterback receiver battery that you have with this team.
Yes, sir, man. I've got an arsenal. I really do. I'm very fortunate, very blessed. Landon Smith is one of the top quarterbacks, and he's the best quarterback in 5A, but he's one of the tops in the state without question. He's not as big as a lot of the kids we play. He's only about 5'10", 170 pounds, but his arm talent is as good as any as I've coached in the college level. And I've coached some really good ones, and including my quarterbacks coach, Coach Landon Cotney, who worked with him and is our quarterbacks coach here now. But his talent is remarkable, and he's so accurate. He can absolutely sling it, but he's such a really good decision maker. And when you have guys like I got out wide, like Josh Dothard, Josh Dothard is the fastest kid in 5A. He finished third in the state last year in the 100-meter. The two guys above him were seniors.
So he can run.
He was a 10-6 guy, so he can flat out fly. So having that guy, and then Trey Jones as well. Like you said, those are both top 10 receivers right now in the state. And then I have, Kendall Harris, Jordan Thomas, and what the best part is, all of them are coming back next year, except Trey. Trey's the only senior I've got. So, but they are all phenomenal football players. But when they get the ball in their hands, last week, it's proof of it. I think Landon threw for 330 some odd yards, and we had 2 passes over 30 yards. And so they're so good with the ball in their hands. So,
all right, you're such a mild-mannered guy.
Yes, sir.
Can you jack them up when you have to?
Oh, absolutely, brother.
Because we're going to ask them here in a minute.
Oh, well, I don't know. They're quiet. They may not tell the truth. But no, I mean, I can get them going when they need to get going.
There you go. All right, Joe.
Little off topic, but this year's 10 years since that JSU team made that run to the national championship game. You were part of that staff.
Yes, sir.
What did you take from that experience? What are the memories that stand out from that?
Man, that was such a fun time. So that was actually my first year there. I was a GA. I was a wide receiver GA. And
dealt with Josh Barge and all them.
Yes, sir, man. I love JV to death, man. God, has such good players, and it was such a good year. We ate top of the river all the time, too. Chad Sharp was on our team. So, we were hooked up with top of the river all the time. But it's just, that was such a fun experience. Getting into the Division I game, 2014 was my first job in Division III. I was a tight ends coach at Maryville College. Immediately came down here to be the wide receivers GA for Coach Gross. And you go to the national championship year one, you're like, oh, it's that easy. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're supposed to do, I guess, So I kind of got spoiled at a young coaching age. But no, just the tenacity you learn to coach with, Coach Gross coaches with, who is also mild-mannered, and just always even keel and such a great guy, but, who has that fire and passion when it comes to coaching. And, to watch those guys go execute, it don't hurt to have a Josh Barge. It don't hurt to have an Eli Jenkins. They were very special football players, All-American football players. But that year was so much fun because you learned so much. It taught me what we're getting ready to go do this year of how to go make a deep run and make it count. You got to take it one game at a time. You can't look ahead. You can't look at what's coming. That's kind of what I harp to our kids. We got Moody coming up next week, so I get to see Jake again, and they're number 1 team in 5A, and we just beat the number 2 team last week, so. But we couldn't look forward to another one. We had to go focus on Montgomery Catholic before it came to Moody, and so.
But you've got to go to the Bill for that one, right?
We got to go to the Bill, baby. Yes, sir. So, but no, it'll be a lot of fun. It's a big stage, and our kids are excited for the opportunity.
I think the interesting part is, we're talking about a game here that's going to be one of the top games in the entire state of Alabama, and St. Clair County's in it. I think that's. That's just heartwarming.
It is, 100%, man. I couldn't be more proud of our kids because they've earned that. They've deserved that. And, I've told them today, literally, I was like, look, the target's on our back now, and that's something that you guys hadn't experienced yet. And I'm excited for it because you have to carry yourself in a whole new level when people want to beat you. And, for years we've been the homecoming game. We've been so I've heard somebody even say, they're the JV homecoming game. I was like, oh, my gracious, that hurts, So, but now we're heading that point where people want to come play us and try to beat us. And
it's nice when the target's on your back.
Brother. It is, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
There you go. Coach, talk about Joshua just a little bit because he's here to receive Player of the Week. What kind of young man is he?
Man, I love this kid to death. Not only is he a phenomenal athlete, not only is he fast, not only has great hands, he holds multiple Division I offers, all the good, fun football things, but he is a great young Christian man who is, it's funny because me and him actually even had throughout all summer, one-on-one devotion every morning. And, that's something I cherish and will cherish forever because, I've learned a lot more about him through that. And,
all right. Well, we're going to get him up here and hand out the hardware, and then we'll talk with his two teammates with James here in just a few minutes as well as our visit with the St. Clair County Saints continues right after this on the Friday Night Network.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
We are back at Top of the River for the Talladega Short Track Player of the Week presentation, and the young man who gets the award for Week 1 for his performance at home this past Friday night against the defending 5A state champs, Joshua Dothard is here with us. And, Josh, glad to have you.
Nice.
Congratulations on getting the award, and let's talk about the game a little bit. Tell us about the performance.
I feel like the coaches, put everything in our face, for us to execute. And, our leaders did a perfect job, putting everybody in the right positions throughout the whole week. We executed a big win.
Are you one of those guys?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Outstanding. Talk about some of the other leaders that y'all got on this squad.
Landon Smith, Trey Jones, and Brody Haynes, and Mason Wyatt.
Okay, we've looked at the schedule. You guys are in a really tough region, but the interesting thing about your region is there's a couple of teams that's going to come out of that region that are going to be around probably turkey time in November. Can this team be one of them?
Most definitely.
I like it, most definitely.
I tell you what, you can be the back-to-back state champion, then, you're going to get some attention real quick, my man.
All right, well, here you go. Here's your award. Congratulations. I'm sure your mom and somebody in your family, I hope you find a good spot for that.
Yes, sir.
And we want to, again, congratulate you on a performance that resulted in, Coach T-Rob talked a minute ago about I think Joe did too, about the receptions and the yards and stuff like that. I get down to the meat of the deal. 4 touchdowns, big man. That good?
Yes, sir. Oh, definitely.
All right. Well, we're going to grab a quick break. I'm going to step out of the way, and Joshua's teammates are going to come join James here at the table for a few little questions, and then we'll get to our final guest of the evening. Of course, the Hope Christian Saints are here to visit with us as well, and we'll get to that here in just a minute on the Friday Night Network.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Almost through the first hour of tonight's FNN Coaches Show here at Top of the River. James Hardy with you, and we got one big happy family when it comes to St. Clair County as they're coming off one of their biggest wins in program history this past Friday night over Montgomery Catholic, the 2-time defending state champions, 5A last year and then in 4A. And so let's introduce, in addition to Josh Douthard, who we just gave a little hardware to in the last segment, we also have quarterback Landon Smith as well as Trey Jones, just a little bit off to my right. A big thanks for all of you for joining us. And by the way, congratulations on a big win Friday night.
Appreciate it.
Let's get Landon talk about Josh. As far as I know, we got to see you all late in the season last year. I mean, I was told especially how talented your receiving core was, especially Josh. Just how much of a special ball player is he?
He's a playmaker. He just makes plays all around the field. And it's kind of easy for me to do when I got wide receivers around me to make plays anytime I throw it to him.
I was about to ask you, that has to make life a whole lot easier for you when you have players that you can just throw the ball up to and he can go up and get it.
Oh, yeah.
How big of a win was it for y'all to, especially over a program like Montgomery Catholic that's really kind of set themselves as one of the top programs in 5A in the state? How big was it, especially in the development of your program, was it to go out and get the type of win y'all did Friday?
It really set the tone for the whole season. I mean, it was a good tone setter. And, as Coach Robinson and everybody, we expected to win. Everybody doubted us in the school. We just expected it, and we weren't shocked when we did it.
And then, Josh, I got to go back to your individual performance from Friday night. Not only as far as your locker room right after the game, but how happy was your family, though, with your performance this past Friday?
My family was, pretty happy, balled out, against the defending state champions. So, just up from here.
And then let's get Trey in here. So, Trey, first I'll just kind of describe what it's like playing with Landon and also with Josh out on the football field every Friday night.
As Landon is a great quarterback to have, hit me down the field whenever I'm open. And Josh, he's a great receiver to have for, like, if he's open, he's always open. But if they double team him, you got me and other receivers that's open as well.
I know, just looking at least the next couple of weeks for y'all, a week off this week, and then y'all are right back at it. I know y'all faced an outstanding program, as we talked about Friday, but y'all have got another outstanding team that actually lost to Montgomery Catholic in the state championship game last December, rather. In the Super 7. Just kind of talk about as far as just what does that type of win y'all got for Montgomery Catholic Friday do for y'all as far as even just a week and a half from now as far as facing another one of those type of teams in Moody?
Gives a lot of confidence going into them. Then also we have 2 weeks to prepare for Moody, so it'll be a great game.
And then, Josh, I got to ask you, and I'll probably ask the rest of both of your teammates this as well. How much do you relish as far as being able to play some of the best that you have on your schedule?
It's very good, It helps us develop, see where we're at within, our schedule. We play some of the top teams back-to-back. So, it's very, very good.
What's the biggest strength you have as a football player?
Biggest strength? My vision.
Good to have it as a wide receiver. And let's get Landon back in. I want to ask you as well, like we asked Trey, you played a state championship caliber team in Montgomery Catholic this past Friday. You've got another one of those, not this week, but next week at Moody. How much does that type of a win against a program like Montgomery Catholic kind of get you ready and get you the confidence to know that, hey, we can compete against some of the best teams on our schedule?
They're a great team, but we know we got a great squad too, so we can match up with anybody in the state. And then what makes your team, I guess, one of those up-and-coming teams that, hey, maybe you can compete. You can be one of those teams that, hey, you as far as that may be one of the tops in 5A. Not only do we got skill, but we're a family. We play together, and, like last Friday night, there was a lot of flags, penalties. We battled through it and came out with the win.
And then talk about playing for Coach Rob.
He's a great Christian coach. He teaches us the good things. He's culture. He's all about culture. And our culture's grown since he's gotten there.
Talk about how would you describe the culture of your football program?
We're just a family. Whatever happens, we flow together.
And then how much we'll bring all the players in. First with you, Landon, as far as just I know y'all have a week off, but would y'all, at least as far as the momentum y'all got from this past Friday, is it one of those weeks that you'd kind of like to be playing another opponent this week?
I would like to say yeah, but no, it's good that we have a bye week before this team. It's a really good team we're about to go against. They're matched very well with Montgomery, and they're a very great squad.
And then, Josh, we'll let this be the last word as far as just how far can this team go this year?
Hey, I feel like we'll go to the state championship.
All right. Hopefully, I imagine we may be seeing y'all before at least the regular season ends, and who knows, we may be seeing y'all in the postseason if y'all can keep what y'all did Friday night. It is an off week for St. Clair County this week, but they've got another Titanic matchup coming up the following week of September the 12th, just down Highway 411 at Moody. A big thanks to Josh for joining us, as well as winning some hardware courtesy of Talladega Short Track as our F&N Player of the Week. Also, Landon and Trey for joining us, and a good luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
We still have Hope Christian to feature as we come down the final almost 25 minutes or so of tonight's edition of the F&N Coaches Show.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
A lot of people always wonder, how does your first-time buyers program work? Hey, I'm here to tell you that we do bad credit, good credit, even no credit at all. I even got down payments as low as $500, even got cards as low as $169 a month. So stop by. Let's check it out. Let's see if we can get you approved today. Come by at 411 East Street North, Talladega, Alabama, 35160. Telephone number 205-332-7993. Let's come get you a bill deal.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Welcome back to Top of the River, our final segment of the night as far as our school guests are concerned. It's time to turn our attention to some purple.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Now, we thought you would get the memo about purple shirt night.
I'm sorry.
And he shows up in.
But I got some purple.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Joe was saying just a few minutes ago, we had a room full of Saints tonight, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, St. Clair County, congratulations to them. What an amazing feat they had. And then we got Hope Christian Saints. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Talk about what this birth of this team has meant besides the ordering the jerseys and the shoulder pads and the helmets and all that stuff. How much were you in on all this?
Well, I'm also the athletic director, so I was in the middle of every bit of it. So it's definitely been a journey, learned some things along the way, made some mistakes, but it's been an amazing journey. I can tell you the most special part of it, though, really is, of course, every school wants to have a football program that they can offer for the boys, but the most special part was last year we were planning on having a team, probably going into 8-man football and AISA and having a team, but had guys out there in the summer working out and all that. We probably had about 8, 9 guys, you know what I mean? So ended up having to make the tough decision.
It wasn't feasible.
Yeah, it wasn't feasible.
Timing wasn't right.
It wasn't right, and it was tough for those kids that had spent that summer preparing to have a football team, and those kids, they finally having that opportunity this year. One of them being a senior, so that's been the most special part of it.
I'll get this out of the way early, but can you give people an update on Caden Slick? For those who don't know, he had some neck fractures in the game against Chambers Academy last week. Had a couple of plays there where before the numbness even started to set in, so it could have been worse if contact had happened. But just kind of give people an update on him and what that situation was like.
Absolutely, and all praise to God. Encore we used for our athletic trainer. They were out there, Brandon Shepard, Coach Shep. He's amazing. He had him over there, and he was actually looking at him for, concussion. So Caden Slick got up. Of course, he's the tough as nails. He is. He doesn't like to come off the field, and he was trying to get back out there. And Coach Ward, he helps with our defensive backs, also with our on our defensive side of the ball. Coach Kevin Ward, he actually noticed and he looked at him and knew something was off, so he didn't let him go back in. So, praise God for his discernment of seeing that kid, because it could have been much worse. I actually drove up to UAB the next morning and seen Caden, and he's doing well. I mean, he was at practice today. He's got a neck brace on. He had a couple fractures in his C7, T1 and T2, slight fractures, a little bit of fluid. But he was, he was there all night, and then about 2 p.m. on Saturday, he was released from UAB.
That's
and
great.
He's been back at school and everything like that. So he's doing well. Thank you to everyone for all your prayers, and we're happy to have him back.
Well, the good Lord sent you a lesson already.
Mm-hmm.
He taught you with game 1 that life can be good.
Right.
He taught you with game 2 is it ain't that easy.
Nope, that's for sure.
Talk about where you guys really are at this point. I mean, you played one of the best teams in the state traditionally last week. Probably nobody that was realistic thought you were going to win except you and your kids,
right?
And some of your students and folks like that. But where are you? I mean, do you have a handle now on where things are?
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, look, here's what it boils down to. We started off the season in AISA against 2 teams that have way more kids than us and are also in a division higher than us, right? One of them being Chambers this past week, the back-to-back defending state champions in the 3A, which is the highest of 11-man football you can get in AISA. They're not the back-to-back defending state champions for no reason. I mean, they were a very good football team. I had a chance to talk to Coach Allen the next morning. He was calling and checking on Caden and stuff like that,
right.
And just telling us, thank you for having us. He was telling us how great of a host we were. And I told my kids after that game this past Friday against Chambers, I said, look, week 1, we were a mile high, right? First game in history. We go out there, we get to win, a hard-fought win because, we were down at half 12-6. End up coming back winning 28-18. So it was a tough one. So we were a mile high in the sky. We come back the next week, and now we hit rock bottom, playing a very good opponent in Chambers. I said, guys, we have to find that even keel where we are, right? So the guys have come back this week. Yesterday and today, they have come back and they've responded well. I mean, this is just something to grow from. This week we have Hooper at home, and this is the beginning of our area play. Mm-hmm. So we're excited to get back into it. They've responded well. They've grown from it. The energy has been very high in practice. So I think that, moving forward is you learn a lesson from it, right? You learn a lesson from it. You learn never to give up. You learn to keep pushing forward, and then we just move on to the next opponent. This past week is gone. Now we're looking forward to the future.
In a program like Chambers, what did you see with your coach's eye that says, okay, we need that to get where we want to go?
So here's the thing. We had a good game plan against Chambers. Everything was all lined up. We had a good scheme. We had a good offensive scheme and defensive scheme. What it boils down to is Chambers was just bigger, stronger, faster. That's all it boiled down to. I mean, we had guys firing off the ball. We had guys making their assignment in blocks, but I mean, they were just bigger and stronger. You know what I mean? I can tell you, if I'm looking at Chambers and I'm thinking, what could I pick from them to have on my team is the experience, the age. I think Chambers has 17 or 18 seniors. You see what I'm saying? Most of my team is, I have 4 seniors. I think I have 3 juniors. Majority of my team is sophomore and freshman. And most of them never played varsity football in their life. So, I mean, if there's one thing I can pick, it's going to be experience. And over the next couple of years when we're building with this team, we're going to have that experience.
That brings me to my next question for you, Coach. And if you weren't the AD, I probably wouldn't ask you this question, but I will now. All right. What's the roadmap for this school and the football program? I mean, is ASIA, or is that right? AISA. Is it where it stops, or are you thinking AHSAA at some point? I mean, what's the 5-year plan?
So I'll tell you this. I think, first of all, Michael McClendon, Roddy Beck, the AD for the AISA, they have been nothing but good to us. I enjoy being in the AISA. We've in our small beginnings, they've welcomed us with open arms. Anytime I've ever had a question, he gets back with me, extremely quick. He's very prompt in his responses, and we've had a good time in the AISA. I can't tell you where it'll be in the next 5 years. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that we won't ever be in AHSAA. I won't say that we'll ever leave. You know what I mean? I don't exactly know. What we'll do is we'll pray about it, and we'll just continue to seek God's wisdom and guidance in knowing where we need to take this program.
Well, I will tell you one thing.
Yes,
the buzz about your program around town has been impressive. I mean, it really has. I don't know if it's the way you guys built it all out or what it is, but I've heard far more about what's going on at Hope Christian from a sports standpoint than I have some of the other schools in the area.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, that and I know I say this all the time, but it is absolutely true, and it's the fact that Hope Christian Academy is very family oriented. All of our parents are very involved in the things we do, our teachers, everything. And you can do that in the small beginnings, but we want to make and continue to cultivate that culture that we have of, putting God first, making sure that he's glorified in everything that we do. Interesting story, and I'll just share this with you real quick. That first officiating crew that we had that week, one of my coaches, actually Kevin Ward, knew one of the officials. And later on that night, he texted him, and he was telling him that in the 4 or 5 years that he's been calling ball in AHSA, AIS, whatever it is, he has never, not once, heard a team that didn't say one thing derogatory on the field. And that is the type of thing, those are the type of things that I'm trying to promote and Hope Christian Academy is trying to promote in these young men and young women.
Well, you look like one of those kind of guys that could get attention if you needed to.
Well, yeah, you're probably right.
We can ask them in just a minute.
Yeah.
Unblockable once upon a time, I think.
I guess. I guess it depends on who you're asking.
Who'd you bring with you tonight?
So I brought with me our starting quarterback, number 3, Cannon Bozeman, and also our starting running back, number 2, Nick Morrow.
And I'll let you lead by inviting everyone to come out to a game. How about that?
Absolutely. Guys, look, this week we start out with our week 3. We have our first area game, Hooper Academy. I'd love for everyone to come out, enjoy. Come get you a Saints dog, a Saints burger. They're pretty good. Got a special sauce. Y'all come out and enjoy that and enjoy the game.
That's why you went there the first week.
No, I went to see their first game. But
we got him, James.
I'm real curious about this Saints burger, though, and the Saints dogs. Like Alexandria has a Valley dog. You're not going to share the special sauce, are you?
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll be right. We'll be right back with the Hope Christian players coming up next here on FNN.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find the full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
All right, we're coming down the home stretch of our second edition this season of the FNN Coaches Show here on FNN. James Hardy with you, and so once again, a big thanks to Top of the River for hosting us this season. James Hardy once again, as we are closing out our feature of the Hope Christian Saints, not only one of our areas, but one of Alabama's brand new high school football programs. And they've already gotten their first win in program history under their belts, 1-1, coming in to an all-important, another first for the program. That is their first region game in AISA. And to help talk about that and a whole lot more as far as a new beginning for Hope Christian, it is Keenan Bozeman off to my right, quarterback, and then Nick Morrow, a running back, off to my left. It feels like I just saw y'all a few weeks ago over at the Anderson Country Club. Great to have y'all back again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I know we were, Keenan, we'll start with you. I know we were talking about as far as just getting the football program off the ground. Y'all are off the ground now, but how exciting was it not only to get your first game under your belt, but to get that first game with a win once you got in the post-game locker room?
I don't think that I've experienced any more joy, especially in the locker room throughout the whole team. I mean, as soon as we won that game, everybody was hype and screaming in the locker room for about 30 minutes straight.
Who was the first one to start the celebration, Nick, after that first victory a couple weeks ago?
I'd probably say my guy, Trevor. He was definitely the hype man on that team.
Just going to talk about that game as far as just maybe the anticipation coming in, knowing that you were starting history as far as beginning a new era when it comes to Hope Christian, but also just what was kind of, I guess, that game plan and the message that the coaches gave y'all going into that very first inaugural game?
I mean, it's big for anybody. I mean, first game of the season, we didn't really think of it. I didn't think of it as, I mean, first game of the season, I thought it was history. And, I mean, it's a big game. I mean, coming out there, nobody knows who you are. Nobody has film on you. We don't have a lot of film on anybody else. And it's just coaches don't know.
And then, Kanan, how was the game day atmosphere that night?
The fans, I mean, I was extremely surprised with how many fans showed up there. The bleachers were full. There were people sitting in chairs all up on. There was like a little hill, and all they were filled up. And then even after the game, we have a tradition of going out to the stands and thanking all of our fans and giving everybody a high five, and that it was really cool to see that.
That is cool.
Yeah,
that is what a high school atmosphere, really a classic high school atmosphere, is all about. But I tell you what, y'all will both learn. The more y'all win, the more you'll get those people to come back out again and again and again.
Yep.
And last week, a tough night, but Chambers Academy, as Jim and Joe and Coach mentioned, they're a great program in AISA.
Yes, sir, they are. Yeah.
Just what makes them, at least this year's edition of Chambers Academy, such a great team?
The biggest thing they preached to us the whole time was their physical. I mean, they didn't care about the size, how big you were, how small you were. They treated every kid out there the exact same, and that was just to go 100% at whatever they did.
And then, Nick, what type of lessons do you get playing that type of stellar competition?
I mean, I think we went into this game we took in too much hype, and people were talking about us. And we got too caught up on the back-to-back state champions, and we just didn't go in focusing on it. It's just a football team, and we just got to go out there and win.
Okay, those two games, so your opening win a couple weeks ago against Valiant Cross, and then last week against Chambers in the books. You got your first region game coming up. What's the message from Coach this week?
I mean, we don't want to go in there thinking that they're anybody else. We just want to go in there and focus on us. Coach doesn't – Coach says if we're great, that's all that matters. And, I mean, it's first region game. I mean, it's a big game, but you just got to go out there and focus on our assignment and execute.
And then, Kanan, your first region game, one of those building blocks to try and get your program to the playoffs. How big a week is it as far as trying to pick up another W on Friday night?
I think after having a loss like how we did last Friday, I told the locker room the biggest thing that can help us is to turn around and get an even bigger win for the first region game in our season.
It sounds like you're really stepping it up as far as just maybe some vocal leadership behind the scenes in the locker room.
Yeah, I'm a very talkative person, so I always like to be yelling and screaming and stuff. Sometimes it's not always nice, but I mean, I'm usually yelling either because I'm mad or I'm happy.
How do you think individually you've been doing this year so far? I know just 2 weeks in and still plenty of games to go as far as that journey in the regular season, but at least so far, how do you think you've been doing as far as yourself on the football field?
If I'm looking, as a leader, I've noticed sometimes, which I've been corrected by coaches and players, sometimes I yell at guys a lot, not trying, I'm like, hey, do this. You're not doing this right. And then sometimes our coaches are like, hey, you got to pick them up. And like, you can do that, but then pick them up after that. And then probably as like a player skill-wise, as a quarterback, sometimes I'm too quick getting out of the pocket. So this week is a big focus of me on staying in the pocket as long as I can to throw the ball.
And then, Nick, just kind of talk about how the first 2 weeks of the season have been for you.
I mean, I wouldn't want any other 2 weeks. I mean, any other football team. I wouldn't want to be a part of any other team. I love my team. And it's just great preparation, great coaches, great staff, great everything.
Now, Nick, just to kind of remind me, but also remind our folks out in our FNN audience, is this your first year playing football, or how long have you been playing?
I've been playing my whole life. Played varsity last year, and then this is my first year at Hope. But, yeah, I've played my whole life since I was 6, 5.
How's the transition for you been to Hope?
Oh, I love it. I mean, great teachers. I get greeted every day at the door with a hug. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better.
And then, Kanan, just kind of, I know Coach also described as far as just the culture that Hope Christian tries to instill in y'all. Just kind of describe, as far as from a player and a student perspective, that culture that y'all get to experience each and every day at Hope Christian.
So every single day we start our day off with devotion, and Coach Burns, he's our head of school, and he says the same thing every day. He says, talking to us about being intentional, and no matter what, whenever you're around somebody, you're either making them better or you're making them worse. So strive, no matter what, being intentional to make everybody else better just from being around you.
And I guess I imagine just that overall culture from the school, those points you talked about, I imagine those more than creep in as far as just the culture of the football team.
Oh, yes. It's all throughout the school. You see it in all the teachers from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade.
And then as far as just go back as far as team goals, what do you think y'all can do this year the rest of the way? You've already got your first win under your belt, opportunity for your second win, and more importantly than that, your first region win. What are some of the goals y'all have as a team for this year?
What we learned off those last two games was you can't go into week 2 thinking like, oh, we're 1-0. So our biggest thing as a team, no matter what the outcome is, we're coming up to our next game. It's 0-0, and it's almost like every single week's a brand new season. Like you restart, it's back to game 1.
And then as far as just the road ahead, Nick, not only this week, I just kind of describe as far as maybe some of the talent y'all, besides Chambers Academy, y'all have seen, but that y'all will see coming up in the rest of your schedule in the AISA.
I mean, we play a lot of great teams. Every team in AISA is great competition for us and our team. But I feel like, Chambers, back-to-back state champions. You can't beat that.
Well, no, Bessemer Academy is coming up later on toward the back end of the schedule. Actually, your next to last game on October the 17th, and I know they're another one of those programs of traditional AISA power along with Chambers Academy. So still some games of note coming up for Hope Christian. But once again, before we go, kind of remind us. I think we kind of talked about over during Calhoun County High School Football Media Days, but just as a reminder, some of the goals that you both have individually for this year.
My biggest goal is to be the best leader that I can, because at the end of the day, you might not win every single game. You might not make it as far as you want to in the playoffs, but you can still, everybody can become a better football player and a better man without winning ball games, even though that's our goal. But if everybody's becoming a better man and a better leader, then that's our ultimate goal.
And Nick?
Our coaches preach it all the time, just getting closer to Christ, and just, we want to win, obviously, but just getting closer to Christ, becoming a better man, and just being what our coaches say of being a good father for our future family.
Outstanding. A big thanks, Kanan and Nick, for joining us. And don't forget, Hope Christian, they open, including their first 2 ball games this week and next week against Hooper Academy, and Crenshaw Christian. They're at home this week and next week, so their first 4 football games in their program's history right here in our area in Calhoun County over in Oxford before they have to go on the road to Banks Academy in a couple of weeks on September the 19th. And don't forget, folks, as far as for us here at FNN, as always, our Friday night games begin with our countdown to kickoff presented by Bama Sheds at 6:30, and we'll be not too far away from where we're at tonight at Top of the River, as we'll make the trip up Highway 21 on Friday for the first region game in Class 5A, Region 6, as it will be Jacksonville hosting an outstanding Moody squad. And there you see our schedule for Friday. We'll have the replay of Munford and Lincoln, our most recent game from this past Friday. And then, of course, our coaches show from tonight leading into Moody and Jacksonville. A big thanks to all of our teams, Pleasant Valley, St. Clair County, and Hope Christian for joining us. And a big thanks for you, as always, for joining us. So for Joe Medley, Jim Jacobs, and our FNN crew, James Hardy wishing you a good Tuesday evening from top of the river as you have been watching the FNN Coaches Show here on FNN.